just ask that you can help us conduct this meeting in a manner that is pleasing to thee. In Christ's name we pray. Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the precious flag. I pledge allegiance to these texts, one state under God, one indivisible.
Okay, I'd like to welcome everybody here today, participating in our meeting. And so at this time, I'm going to ask, well, first off, let's do a roll call. All the commissioners are present for the reception of Commissioner Baker. Okay. So at this time, let's go ahead and have a citizens' comments. The citizen comments is a time that we allow people to come forward, and we give them around 3 minutes. I'm not going to limit it exactly, but we let people come and speak what might be on their mind. The bad part of it is that we almost appear rude because we have to sit here and listen to you. And because it's not on the agenda, we don't get to talk back to you. So trust me, we're going to hear you, and we're not going to be rude, but we're going to give whoever wants to speak 3 minutes. Right now, I've got Ms. Dicker who wants to speak, so if you'll come on up and say your name, and we'll listen to you with open.
Well, I've got paperwork here.
Okay.
Thank you. I'm Julie Diker, and wanted to talk about the economy. First of all, thank y'all for listening to me in advance. I appreciate that. So this morning when I was drinking my coffee, I ran across an article on my email that was talking about how wonderful the job numbers are now, and how many people are back to work, and the unemployment rate has gone down, and people are back to, employment has gone back to pre-COVID numbers. However, when you look into that, the unemployment rate is down because people are dropping out of the job market, and we're almost back to pre-COVID numbers because we were so in the hole before then. So that's, both of those are really bad numbers, even though there was an attempt to put a good spin on it. Now, what you've got in front of you, I was wondering how we know everybody is feeling the pinch at this point. How much of a pinch are they feeling? So I decided I'd go and look. I'd find out and see if I could get some kind of metric to measure how much hurt we're feeling. And the top is just to sort of establish a baseline. So Limestone County is 24,000 people in 2019, and you guys probably have a better number than I do, but we're over 24,000 roughly right now. 1/3 to 1/2 of those would be children and people under 18. So we've got 12,000 to 1,600 people who are adults and who are working to pay taxes. A lot of those are retired people. So not a great big tax base. The estimated median household income in 2019 was $46,000 a year. 34,000 a month, roughly. If you've got a mortgage, you were paying about $12,000 a month for your mortgage. If you were renting, about $540 a month. 21% of the people in Limestone County have no insurance, or children under 18 have no insurance coverage, and 20% of adults have no insurance coverage, presumably because they can't afford it. It's not on the top of their priority list. So anyway, that sort of establishes a baseline for what we're looking at population-wise. And these numbers, this was really interesting trying to tease these numbers out, but they're all well sourced, and I'm happy to give you source material if you request that. We don't know how much land taxes are going to go up this year. Hopefully, they could even go down. That's always a possibility. The average price of gasoline from 2020 to May of 2022 has gone up 178%. Diesel, which is extremely important to us in this rural community, has gone up 184%. The average price of groceries per household, 148% in that same time period. And the average wage increase I was not able to find anything later than 2021, but in that time period, it went up 5.2%. I'm gonna guess it will probably go up about that for last year, for this year too. So, and my point on all of this, of course, and I don't wanna beat you over the head with it, is people are suffering. It's gonna get worse. We are in a historical inflationary, potentially recessionary, well, I think it's already established we're in a recession. It's up for grabs as to whether we're gonna be in a depression or not. So the people who elected you to represent them are suffering right now, and we're all having to tighten our belts. And you know this, you talk to your people, you know this is happening. So I'm just hoping that you guys can see the need that we all have to tighten our belts, and we're all in this together. That's all I've got.
Thank you very much. Let's go ahead then and go into item number 6, and that's going to be our consent agenda. I trust that y'all had a chance to go over the consent agenda, and I'll ask if there's any discussion on that.
Move we approve the consent agenda.
Second.
We do have a motion and a second, any other discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay. We'll go into our regular agenda, and we'll first off take the reports from all the county officials, so we'll go down the line. Mr. Ellis, you have anything extra you want to put?
And I'd just like to say that in reference to your May reports, we had a really good month. If they look at it.
What was the total that month? It was close to 10,000, wasn't it?
Yes,
If we did that every month, we'd be in good shape.
well, it's the second time we've reached the 10,000 mark.
Okay.
I was gonna ask you, did the sound system people come back out?
Okay. They came and they worked on it, they got it fixed, and it's not working again. Part of it's working, it's a wiring problem. I've been in contact with them, they'll be back this week. They're gonna have to make some changes in the way that they've got the thing wired, that's all it is. But, you know, it's in a zone, deal,
Right.
and, 2 of the zones weren't working, and the problem was that we could not keep the wire ports fastened. So something's gotta be changed, it can be fixed, it's a great system, you know, we just gotta get it.
Okay.
Get it to right.
All right, you have anything?
No, sir.
Okay. Let's go on down the line here. Sheriff, you have anything?
Yes, sir. Morning, our jail population is 128, with 21 Freestone, 3 from Leon, and 3 from Bell. We incurred quite a bit this month in medical costs in the jail and inmate transportation. We had 2 pregnant females deliver this month. And we're waiting on all those bills and some of the other stuff to come in, so next month I'm sure they'll be coming in. May have to look at transferring to some moves on our budget on that.
Any discussion, any other reports? If not, we'll entertain a motion to approve these reports as presented. Okay, we have a motion. And a second, any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? I'll go ahead and ask Commissioner Friday to give us a report on the safety.
There's no instance that I was aware of, so I'll make a motion to approve the safety report with no instance.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. The only discussion would be is that's good. We didn't have any accidents, so all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Now we're gonna talk about one of the most important things that we talk about in the county is burn ban. So, Matt, what do you think?
Yeah, Judge, I was gonna hand this out, this is a petition, no, I'm joking here. These are just the counties that are under burn ban.
Okay.
We're at 441 right now, so we're in this westward Easter Creek that we always run into. And I talked to some chiefs this morning, and they're basically saying, well, you know, maybe we're okay at the moment, but probably in a week or so, the weather as it is gonna be, you know, back to back situation, so whatever y'all wanna do.
Y'all want to authorize me to take a look at it as the conditions worsen?
We've already had a big fire on 14, we have got Levy on.
Yeah.
So I think it's time to probably put it on. Just my opinion.
But y'all, I'll leave it up to, does anybody want to make a motion to put the burn ban on?
I make a motion that we put the burn ban on.
Anybody want to second that?
I'll second it.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And any opposed? I think I'm gonna go nay right now myself. I want to vote on this one, so we're gonna leave it off for a while. There'll be no action taken, and we'll reassess it as we go.
Would encourage you after this coming weekend to,
Yes.
say, put it on Monday.
Okay.
Give everybody, and kind of public record now that we may do that, and people have something in front of you.
Okay. All right, we'll leave it off then until further notice. Okay, let's go ahead then and, let's see if we can move some people around. Who do we have here that, we're taking business on? I think it's, let's go down to item number 16. And that's discuss and take action on request from Chris Kohler, Circle H Ag Service for additional monies, for increased fuel costs on the bid 211215. Chris, if you want to come forward, from what I understand, and I'll let you explain it, but one of the biggest things that happened is that when he gave us his bid, his thoughts were, I think, what am I talking to you?
Well, when I first originally turned this bid in, started working on it, it was actually in September of 2021. So fuel prices were way lower then than when they were when everything was finally approved. Upon getting the approval of the bid, the bridge was closed on FM 1245, which had to reroute all of my rock trucks, all of my hauling, almost 10 miles around back to my head, then back to Mount Common. So Force Logistics charged me an extra $2 a ton for the reroute, that was not previously bid upon. So then 2 weeks into this project, fuel started going nuts. So they hit me with a fuel surcharge per ton, per dollar per diesel. So as it kept going up, my fuel surcharge kept going up, which y'all have the papers there is nearly $90,000 difference just on the fuel surcharge. And that's not including the extra $2 a ton they were charging me for the bridge. So, and I ate a lot of money in fuel myself. On average, we were about 500 gallons a day just for my equipment that was on the job. That was not big. So that's my case in kind of staying here.
Okay. Let me explain something that Natasha and I have been talking about. As y'all know, we received $4.9 million for this project. The bid came in at $4.646, so Limestone County made about $254,000 on this job. In addition to that, Limestone County actually went out and did the work on one of these roads to the tune of about $115,600, which, the good news is, if y'all decide to do anything for him, this is not taxpayer money necessarily. This is monies that we did not budget. It's additional revenues that we got in. I'll leave it up to y'all what y'all decide you want to do. But we do have the money that we're not using tax dollars to pay for this additional fuel charge that he got hit with. And he was the only bid, so there's no problem with us changing that bid somewhat to, mainly, not because of what I think you did for poor management, but because of the bridge on 1245 that's right there by the rock crusher that he could not go on that anymore. I'm looking to hear y'all's thoughts on this.
And that alone, with that delay, the extra mileage, actually delayed our job about 3 weeks.
Can we legally pay above the bid price?
Yes. Two things I found out that because there was no other bid, that we can't adjust it, and we have it in our contract. Adjust it.
In the contract, which we went out for bids in January officially, but in the contract, we do have a statement saying for charges and extras, no change of this contract, whether for additional work, additional compensation, or others shall be effective unless prior thereto written change order has been authorized by the Limestone County Commissioners. So written notice is given to y'all. And then in the government code, it does say as long as there's written notice and the commissioners court are the ones that vote on it.
Does this suffice as that notice?
He brought that, I think you delivered it to Commissioner Slater, I don't have it right in front of me, but he did bring it in.
How much is that? We'll do like cops.
This right here is, 115,600 is what that one road was. And then,
No, I'm just talking about how much was he asking for? Oh, the fuel adjustment.
well, your amount was 89,000, I think it was.
That's correct.
89,000, I'm not saying that I was in favor of giving him 89,000, to be honest with you. But I didn't mind, me personally, I didn't mind helping somewhat.
Chris, out of curiosity, obviously some of the 89,000, just the fact that our federal government has allowed us to pay the whole. And that's fuel cost. But the bridge itself, of that 89, what would you think that cost?
Well,
20, 25, what, I mean,
well, the 89,000, that wouldn't go back to the bridge, that was just fuel surcharge in general, that they're charging for the high price of fuel.
but you were burning more fuel because of the bridge.
Yes, sir, that's correct. Like I said, that delayed us 3 weeks on a project because the delays and extra miles the trucks had to do. So,
The bridge is certainly one thing beyond your, all of it's beyond your control.
yeah, that additional 3 weeks worth of work probably cost us probably $45,000 to $50,000 extra for the delay, on top of the $89,000 fuel surcharge.
I would recommend to this commissioner's court that we consider somewhere in the neighborhood, basically half of that 89,000, somewhere in the $40,000 range is what I was thinking when I was reading this. Again, in all fairness, Chris, I think you learned something to put in a rack price so that whatever the price is that day, you're gonna do it based on that, and then, so you learned something on it. Same token, I don't think, I feel a little better about doing this because frankly, this is money we did get from Engie on road repairs. Another thing is that we actually county made around $300,000 on this project that we can use for other things such as the skid steer that we bought. We're putting that money over into our contingencies. So we're putting monies that we made on this project over into county bank accounts to pay for things that we have coming up that we are not gonna have to ask taxpayers to pay for.
What was the last project completed, the last road? But remind me of specific dates.
It's been nearly a month ago now.
When did you realize that?
Oh, we did it in March, after we got started.
When was the paperwork submitted?
I think the last payment was made in May.
Yeah, it's not that.
Do we know about when that bridge was closed? Still closed.
And it's still closed, and it was
It's
probably.
closed.
It just reopened last week.
It-
So it basically closed, week we started the job, and it just opened last week.
You drew the black thing on that.
Did you ask the state for some help? Well, what kind of numbers are we looking at?
I recommend 40.
There's still one payment that we're waiting on a Brandon invoice. Still receiving it.
And that's
We
the,
sent it back to Betty.
but that's not included in this 115. So that's the 83,661.92. If there's something that's not exactly to the penny on that, it's not gonna be enough to,
It won't affect that.
and besides that.
I mean, we already have it included. So the 115 is only for that one road that he did, but the county ended up themselves.
We went ahead and did it.
Only thing I wanna make sure of, we take bids for a reason. And the only thing I wanna make sure of, we're not opening a bag of worms, can of worms, where you can bid something, but then we'll pay more at the end, and then we'll leave. That's my main concern. I do understand it's not taxpayers' money, I do understand it's money that was given to the county for the roads, we didn't have to pay it all out. From that standpoint, I'm prone to, give something on, like the judge, I don't think we're gonna do 89. I don't think it's our responsibility to fuel it, but I do see us having some, not really us, but unforeseen circumstances with bridge being closed. That's the real kicker to it. How much that's worth of the 89, that's what I was wondering. Does 40 seem like a fair figure to you?
Something better than that. It's fine.
And it's not taxpayers' money, but it is money we can spend in place of tax dollars. That's what it's want to do.
And what's the contingency right now?
There's
400?
404 in there, and then, but it started out with 250, which is what we originally budgeted.
And here in a minute, we're gonna probably transfer some of that money over to him for paying.
The 100 and, use the 250, there's 154,000 available that could be used on the budget transfer.
This is in general contingency, not the road.
No, it's in road and bridge contingencies. Because
No,
what we got
We
from
put
the,
that in road and bridge.
when the excess money that we got from the 4.9 million,
Okay, it's in road and bridge.
I put it in road and bridge contingencies. We've already spent 100,000 of it for the skid steer. And so there's 154 available that can be used for-
Over the 200.
over the 250. It'll still leave 250 in there.
I'll get a motion back in. What is that? $45,000. That's helping fuel costs.
We have a motion, 45,000.
No, we talked about 40.
Right
I mean, I know we're being busy.
Time out, right now we have a motion, we can let it die,
Okay.
I said
Well, we
we
can
can
say
say more.
okay?
And if you don't let it die, that's fine.
Do I have a second? Okay. That motion will die for lack of a second. Does anybody want to make a motion to try 40,000?
I'll move, we do 40,000.
Okay, we got a motion from Bobby for 40,000. Do I have a second?
Second.
And a second. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? Okay. We'll get you a little bit more money. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
That was item number 16. Let's go back up now. Is there anybody else here that I need to? Okay, let's just start going down the list then. Next item is item number 10. That's going to be a acceptable record of U.S. Marshal IGA modification. As y'all know, we do this all the time because we have to sign off on the prisoners that LCDC, or LaSalle, I should say now, LaSalle has. So we're responsible for that. And so they're asking us once again to make this modification. And by the way, these all go through LaSalle, so they check them to make sure that they're right. And they also, so.
I move that we accept the record for U.S. Marshals IGA.
We have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? That motion will pass. Let's discuss the action on ESD number 1, that's Eastlake, for an audit extension. Contractors to have their audit into us right now, actually, and they can come in and ask for an extension while they're trying to get that audit done. Anybody have a problem with that?
I don't, what's the extension, how long, you know?
I'll leave you to 30 days.
We got a motion that we accept the extension for ESD. Second.
30 days.
30 days to that. Yeah, 30 days to
We have a motion and a second to extend that for 30 days. All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? Okay. Let's go ahead and discuss and take action on new revenue for the acceptance of the American Rescue Plan. This, Natasha, this is just paperwork, if I understand correctly, about which
Yes, this is the money that we received actually last year, the ARP money and everything, but we did not budget it, put it in this year's budget because at the time when we were working on the budget, did not know how it was going to be spent. Now that we are spending it, I need to be able to just show where I'm posting it on the revenue and on the expense side, just so it keeps the books balanced. So this is an order that we do anytime we receive like grant money or anything, this is what we normally do.
I move we approve the $15,000.
No, that's the next one, Bobby. First one is just the actual, number 12 is the revenue, for the just accepting the period that 2
$2,276,181. Because this is just what we
Is
received
that
so
what you want that
far.
motion to be, Bobby?
Yes, that we, but we do accept that one.
Okay.
It was 2,200,000, what?
$2,276,181.
76,000.
Okay, we do have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Now then, item number 13 is discussing action on the City of Maha's Fire Department. This fire department was left off whenever I did because we have 10 volunteer, but we have 1 paid. And I think the idea was to give everybody the 15,000. So if y'all want to go ahead and give the City of Maha's Fire Department their share. And the reason I say that is because we have interlocal agreements where the City of Maha's Fire Department actually goes out in the county and does way more than we can
Oh, I
imagine. So, all right.
Second.
Motion and second. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion will pass. Item number 15 is going to be to take action on airport tractor tires. We, this is so hard to try to determine because we do have a contract that basically says he's responsible for everything, basically. However, he's asking us to come out here and pay, let's see, he needs, for tires for the tractor that he uses to mow out there with. He says he needs 2 18x430 rear tires that are 670 each. So that's 1,300, and then he needs another front end tires at 225 each. So we're talking about close to $1,600, which I'll be frank with you, I'll leave it up to y'all.
Looking for a motion?
And the airport budget, we only budgeted 250 for repairs.
Yeah, well,
So
and the reason for that is because the contract specifically states, as we've gone over again and again, is that for him to be able to have his business out there and do business free, other than his utilities, but he does not pay property tax, he doesn't pay, we make sure that all the grounds that we arrange hay baling and things of that nature, this is just a small part that he mows, and I think that's part of doing business out there, right? And I know it's hard to do sometimes, but I think this is money that I don't think we should spend, because we do have a contract with him. I'll leave it to y'all.
We spent any of that money from the 200.
over 250? No. No, we haven't spent any.
Now, we did budget, as y'all remember, that we have budgeted for a grant that we're going to be getting. We're going to put in next year's budget to redo that runway. But that was close to $50,000 that we're going to spend. I just hate to say it. I hate to see us spending money when we do have an actual contract saying that, but I'll leave it up to y'all. And I'll listen for a motion. If not, we'll go on. Okay, we're going to go ahead and pass this item in. There's no action taken. Item number 15 is discuss take action on tax health and employee benefit 2022-23 renewal notice and benefit. The renewal for our health insurance this year came in at 5.9%. And let me make sure, 5.9%. And when I called to squeeze them on this, I didn't get anywhere this year. 5.9 is the minimum that they're sending out for every, that's the lowest rate they have for anybody that has insurance with them, is 5.9%. Well, one thing I did find and this is something that I wanted to talk to y'all about, is that Limestone County is under a grandfathered plan that is the richest I've ever seen. And I've sold insurance for many, many years. We don't have, I never sell this plan to anybody in the business world. They can't afford it. We're gonna be up to $925 per employee for the plan we have. I think that it would behoove us to look at getting out of the grandfather plan and getting into a more realistic plan. Not that we have to diminish, because some of the things will be better if you get out of the grandfather plan. For instance, the things that are important to employees is co-payments to the doctor. That's when, that and prescription drugs are the two biggest things that most employees are interested in. I get sick, I want to go to the doctor, and then the doctor says you gotta have antibiotic, how much that costs? Those are the two main things when you're buying insurance, in my experience. So, I need some guidance from y'all. Either we want to just go ahead and accept the 5.9% increase and go home, or we take a look at some alternatives to see if we can get the cost down a little bit. And when I talk about the cost, it's gonna be stuff like this right here. Instead of having a 90-10 plan, which is almost unheard of anymore, we would have 80-20, and that's the co-insurance side of it. That means that the plan will pay right now 90% up to a maximum of about $3,000, and then it pays $100. We may have to start asking employees to do an 80-20 plan, which is very common. That's the most popular thing. As a matter of fact, some plans even get down to 70-30. It's hard to do that because we're all on it and we all think, well, we sure love this great health insurance. But at some point in time, I think we need to look at that because of what it's costing.
When do we have to make a commitment to TAP?
They're asking right now for it.
When's our renewal?
Carol's not in here, but the renewal, of course, is on 10/1. But we've got time, but I told them I wanted to get, I've already told them for myself, I wanted the other, see what it is, what the benefits are.
So they're giving you other
We're getting
bids?
the other bid, but I just want to see if y'all were to come out and tell me today, no, we like what we got, let's stay with it, then I would make your medical. Huh?
Oh, sorry, right here. This is to return to type on June 30th.
Yeah, but we don't have to do that. I mean, that's what they wanted, but we can squeeze them longer than that, I know that.
I'd like to see some other figures before we make a decision. One of the things that is advantage of working in the county is our employee benefits package.
Yes.
And, for example, Road and Bridge, working 4 days a week, there's some advantages. And I hate to take one of those away, but again, we have to look. If the plan was 80-20, that does have some increases in some other areas, dropped from 900 something to 700 something, that's substantial. That's a substantial one. And savings there might come back in the form of salary.
Yeah, and that's a great point. You know, we're gonna be talking here pretty soon, are we gonna be able to do a cost of living increase this year? You know, last year we never get a great cost of living increase, certainly not what like was presented to us earlier today, but we do have employees that are trying to buy gas, trying to buy bread, meat, things of that nature. And this might be a way that we can find the money to be able to give a bit of a cost of living this year. Okay, a motion to table it to the next meeting. Second. You have a second, all in favor say aye. Any opposed? Okay, we're gonna take a harder look at that. Thank you very much. Okay, let's go ahead and discuss and take action on request for additional funds to the company TAC Auto Insurance Claim Fund, purchase and installation equipment and replacement new vehicle law enforcement. And, Murray, I'll let you talk when you want to, but what this is a red vehicle. We got our insurance money in, the difference between the insurance money and what we can buy a new one for. Murray's gonna tell us exactly how much additional we need.
We have the money to purchase the new vehicle, they have one on the lot that we're able to get this time. We don't get it now, I don't know when we'd be able to get one. The money is there to purchase the vehicle.
Money's in your budgets, that's what you're saying.
Correct, from the insurance money, and this is the one that was wrecked and burned up. When everything burned, there was nothing to salvage to use for the next one. So in this vehicle, we're able to buy new cameras, which are required by law to have in them. all new radio consoles, all the stuff that, some of that stuff is used the next year or years down the road whenever you purchase another vehicle to kind of keep the cost down. So this one, we're having to completely redo everything because it wasn't, I mean, we lost guns and we lost everything. So we're going to be about $8,500 short in what insurance has and the price increase, what's left in the budget, plus the price increase on what the items are gonna cost to completely outfit the new vehicle. So we're asking for about $8,500 to be able to offset that and be able to get a new vehicle, get it outfitted, and get it ready on the streets.
You have a clue how many miles or how long the vehicle was?
It was 2018, and almost all of our 2018s are by almost 100,000 mile mark to 110,000.
8,500 is a pretty small price.
Yes.
And I do realize you're taking money out of the budget also.
Yes.
Thought you were going to find
Contingency,
someplace I can think of.
what we received from the insurance, total for the equipment that was in there, the vehicle itself, was a total of $41,772. The vehicle he has found without being equipped is $36,706. So I put that money, when the insurance money came in, not knowing what we're gonna do with it, it's sitting in the surplus revenue. If y'all agree, I'll move it to his expense line so then we can purchase it. And then what he's asking for to make up the difference is of the 85, we'll go, I'll do a budget transfer, we can take it from contingencies. And do a budget transfer
From the real,
from the general fund contingencies.
If it can come out, we can do a little quick math here. Now, you're buying it for $36,700, right?
Correct.
Then it normally take about 11,000 to furnish it.
Because it's between 10 and 11.
So that's
We
46, so why the additional 3,500?
85.
Well, 8,500, yeah, but if you took 36,700 and added 10 to it, that's 46.
Because some of the stuff in this one we're having to purchase that we haven't had to purchase.
I get
We've been
that.
able to use it.
But it's
So
gonna be $4,000 more.
It's gonna be 3,000 and something, Mr.
And what is that additional 3,000 for?
The cameras, the consoles, the radio, normally we have radios we get from Matt and different other things, and then those new radios are for the E24 compatible radios. We have gun locks, you have all your safety, security equipment. Like I said, in this vehicle, whenever it burned, I mean, everything burned in this gun. You lost control rifle, control shotgun, extra handcuffs, gear, raincoats, I mean, you lost.
We didn't lose the most important thing.
Correct, correct, but you lost everything else in the vehicle.
And this was in the contingency, how much we had in that contingency right
$126,000.
126,000, and we've got, basically 4 months left of the year, so. Okay, I'll leave that to the commissioner, if that's the direction you want to go.
I move we purchased the new vehicle and move the money from the insurance money over to that line, and that we take $8,500 out of contingency to that line also.
There are two different items. So on the item 17 is strictly to use the insurance money to purchase the vehicle, and then item 18 is where he's asking for the additional 8,500.
Okay, so we're on 17.
On 17. So 17, if
That's
Okay, I move that we spend the TAC insurance money for the purchase and replacement of the vehicle.
we have a motion and a second, any other discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Now then on 18, if you want to spend that 85.
Then I make a motion that we move the 8,500 from contingencies to that line.
We have a motion and a second, any other discussion? You got any discussion? Put it up like you were done.
No, I was just gonna say, thank y'all whenever y'all done.
All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? That'll pass. All right, let's go into some, adjustments that we have here. The first one we've got is, budget adjustment. Let's see, it's gonna be for the jail. And then, let's see. This is, from the jail.
salary change.
This is a salary change, getting promoted to sergeant. That money is in the budget to do that, so What's your pleasure on that? We have a motion?
Second.
And a second. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye. Any opposed? We got a budget transfer for JP three. This is 557. This is going to be a new clerk, needs to attend court clerk school, needs funds to conference school, and dues to cover costs. They're wanting to increase $75 out of their office supply line over to the conference. So once again, this is just transferring money around. You know, okay, we have a motion. Motion and a second already. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Let's look at this next budget transfer. It's going to be from the dispatch. And the dispatch is trying to, equipment line to purchase a new headset for the staff. That's a total of $661. They're getting that money out of their office supply line and transferring it over to their furniture and equipment. Motion, and a second. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye. Any opposed? Next one, I want to sit down on this one. This is road and bridges. Road and bridge needs to increase, and you're getting it from, you're getting it from contingency, right? Yes. $142,500. This is going to be gas, oil, and lubricants at $100,000, batteries and tires $10,000, repairs and maintenance $30,000, and signs and supplies $25,000. Jerry, do you want to talk about this at all? Is this going to take care of us for the remaining 4 months, or is this?
I think it's not going to complete your fuel for the next 4 months. We're just doing this trial. Right now, our fuel bill is going up 60,000, almost 32,000. It doesn't look like it's coming down. Judge, I would like to, and I would guess it would mean we would just take no action on this. I'd like to see us move 150,000. We retained the American Rescue money for the county, 555,000 or so. And I think if we use something, but I'd like to see us take 150,000 out of there for the rescue money, which is for things caused by COVID, economy, everything being in disarray. So I would like to see us take $150,000 out of there and move it over to the road and bridge, to those gas, oil, and batteries, repair, maintenance, and signs. Rather than come out of contingencies, because I rather the contingencies was remain. Traditionally, if we had that in about June, I think actually Mr. Pryor will put on just this week, this was already on. We take that and divide that into road materials in our minds for each precinct. And that actually is all I'm saying under the rock that goes on the roads, and I don't want to take that away from the constituents. So I just rather see it come out that unanticipated revenue of American Rescue.
I'm not so sure that I would recommend that you, based on what Jerry's saying.
Well, we could do that if we would move that down, and it would be sitting there for fuel costs in September.
How much? I didn't hear how much.
Judge is saying recommend 200,000, and I started to say that, and he's right. Instead of doing this twice, that extra 50, if we run short, say middle of August or somewhere, the $50 get us through September.
And we're getting the, that's, the American Rescue money, we're hoping to get the other 2.2 million this month.
And so much of that, we're not gonna need to allocate to the places we allocated first time.
And we're using it, the way that we're using it, because we're under 10,000 populations, we're using it for loss of revenue. So basically, they tell us we can use it as we want to. My goal is to buy as much as we can long-term, so that we don't have to go out and ask taxpayers to increase for the item that we need. So this is something I think we have to do, so.
Could we take action on that today, or would we just need not to act on this, put it on the next agenda?
We can take action today on that.
No, we can just change the,
The top line reserve
well,
for
I
contingency.
think, yeah,
change that from 142 to
I mean,
200.
basically, what would be easiest to do is leave this like this, because the ARP money is in general fund. And if this is what y'all are wanting to do, then I would do a, check from general fund and move it over to road and bridge and deposit it into contingencies, and then still do the budget transfer, so then it still then comes out of the contingencies and goes into the.
So if we approve this, you would make all these adjustments. And the 200 we moved over, we would have a reserve of 57,500 still extra sitting in contingencies when we have to do it.
Was that your motion?
Yes, I think we need to move. Well, I guess we need to approve this.
Yes.
Well, and we can move a rescue money without an agenda item.
No, let's put it on the agenda. So we'll go ahead and approve this.
Go ahead and approve this one, the next time we'll move 200,000.
That sounds good.
And we'll also probably,
Okay.
okay. I make a motion that we approve budget transfer of $559.
I'll second that.
Motion is second. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay, let's talk about, item number 23, and that's budget transfer 560 for elections. Let's see what's got here. This is, to cover the elections costs for labor, building, use, and delivery. She's actually moving, money from her contract labor and elections training over to cover this, and not asking us to find new money for it. This is money that's already been budgeted, to cover the actual cost of the labor for the election.
I'll make that motion. Second.
Motion is second. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? Item number 24 is something that I want to talk to y'all about. We are at the point now in this county where we have to do something with the, Odyssey. Murray knows the problems we have. Anyone that deals with Odyssey knows that we are way behind. We are on a 2014 version, which is becoming obsolete. And when I say Odyssey, that's the software that the county clerk, district clerk, DA, sheriff, my office, we all use this one program from Tyler. It's called Odyssey. We've got to get that up to date so that we can just go to the next level. Because we're 2014, we're trying to get to 2017. As soon as we get to 2017, it's obsolete, but you can't get to 2017 before you go on. Is that right, Lee? Yep. And so we're trying to get it up to date in the county if we can get. And the reason being is, and I asked the question, are we talking about blinking once or blinking twice for speed? You know, we could live with blinking twice. But right as it stands right now, when Megan right here is working over in the clerk's office, she can blink 20 times, yawn, take a break before her work gets up to what we need to be doing. So what I'm asking you to do is to allow me to find some money, whether it be however I need to find it, that we can go out and hire some part-time people to come over here and help us install this software to get us up and running. Lee, why don't you expand a little bit on this?
So I'm gonna revise the statement. We actually some assistance in systems maintenance. So we can get some people that are experts in database admin, systems admin, and the network admin. Tyler's gonna do the heavy lifting as far as the software installations. We need to get some of our infrastructure tightened up so that we can take on that new software.
And so I'm asking y'all to be flexible. I'll come to you with budget transfers in order to get this money, but this is something we need to get done to the county. And I'll say this, we can't keep caught up IT-wise. And I'm not gonna blame Lee, I'm not gonna blame the other guys. They work as hard as they can work to get, but everything has gone to computers nowadays. And so the fact of the matter is, how many computers do we have right now?
Right now, I'm licensed for 160 copies of antivirus software.
So at least 160, not to mention the network, phone, the fax, and everything that we're having to deal with is getting overwhelming. And that's why I asked Lee, I said, do they have companies out there with, geniuses that we can pay to come over here and spend 2 weeks with us and get us up to date, and then we could go on. Does that sound about what we talked about, Lee? So I'm gonna ask y'all to, just consider this, but does anyone have a problem with me doing this? Finding the money somewhere for probably $20,000 to $25,000 to get our IT department where it needs to be. I don't hear anybody saying no.
Sure. Windows 7?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You're on Windows 7?
I don't want to, I want to.
Anyway, we're going to pass this item, but without anybody really opposing it, I'm gonna move forward. Okay. So I have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? All right, this time, we're gonna go into an executive session, talk about personal matters. On the majority vote, the governing body commissioners court may recess public portion of the meeting, if they will. This is in chapter 55107 Texas Government Code. We're gonna ask y'all please to excuse us. And we will.